everyone, Kawil here, bringing you a little footage from a Wake Island kerfuffle. Little kerfuffle I had, let's see, when was that? A couple of weeks ago, actually. What you're seeing right now is basically me just trying to figure out what team I want to be on. I was with Gray Logics on the last game, and you know, we weren't really feeling each other, so I decided to hop onto another team. Nobody wanted me. So now I'm just basically kind of just, you know, I'm seeing what's out there. The first part of this video is going to be a little bit boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the schedule that I promised you guys 2 weeks ago. Can you count them? 2 weeks ago. I said I was going to get you guys videos approximately every week, being on a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, because those are my days off. Unfortunately, there was this thing called God of War Ascension that came out last week, which I immediately went and picked up. I mean, immediately went and picked up at 9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday of last week, and okay, now give me a rating. I got it. It's got to be like a 7, and the only reason I give that a 7 is because, well, it kind of got me a little bit. So I mean, if it had been a clean over the top or to the side over the top, then it would have been a 10. But you got me a little bit. You know, you hurt me a little bit. So it's got to be a 7, maybe an 8, because it was pretty good technique with the recoilless rocket. Anyway, folks, back to my schedule. As you know, God of War Ascension came out last week on Tuesday. God of War series is I think one of the best series there is. I had various issues with God of War 3. I have actually never finished God of War 3. And that's because, I don't know if you guys have known this, but there are some copies of God of War 3 that have a buggy system in it, in the save system. If you go to save it, or if you get to certain areas in the game, it freezes on you. Or if you attempt to, or when you go to attempt to save it, or you try to get your save file back, it freezes on you and you lose what you had. So, needless to say, that was very disappointing in God of War 3, because I thought the gameplay was pretty good. I'm going to say that God of War 2 was probably so far the best of the series. I've played God of War Ascension. I'm going to say a good at least 10 hours of it. Sorry for the coughing, guys. I apologize. I played God of War Ascension for about 10 hours. The gameplay is fun. I'm not gonna say it's not. It's more of the same. I'm gonna tell you though that God of War Ascension is frustrating in that there are needless deaths, because it's more of a platformer kind of game now. If you don't know exactly what's coming up next as you're playing the game, it's easy to die. Whether that be let's see, how did I die? I died because of time constraints on some of the things, or you don't make a jump, or you jump the wrong way. And so that's the only frustrating part of the game, is that once you get to that part, you have no idea what's going to happen exactly. And so there's a little bit of trial and error when it comes to figuring out what you're supposed to do exactly. Not that I don't know what to do, but I mean, there's just some certain parts where it's not real clear exactly which way to go, or the timed events where you're platforming and you have to climb a certain way. It might take 1 or 2 times, at least for me anyway, to figure out exactly which way to go and to go the fastest, because you might have a big roller that's kind of rolling up on you, and you run out of time. It rolls over you. So it takes a couple times to figure out the best way to go. I have not died. I just want to say this. I have not died at all when it comes to the actual fighting battles itself. When you're up against a whole horde of different kinds of enemies, I want to say it's a button mash, but there is technique involved if you choose to use them. Typically, the standard combination of buttons is square, square, triangle. And so the game can get a bit mind-numbing at that point. God of War, of course, has continued with its different powers. But of course, and you can upgrade them just as normally. Here comes, there be jeeps, Captain! And if you don't realize, that reference is actually a reference from Star Trek, The Voyage Home. When, oh, what's that? Scotty? When Scotty is, when they go back in time to Earth, to 1984 Los Angeles to get the last humpback whale. And Scotty's they gotta make a new hull for the Klingon battleship that they're in. It's from the previous movie, which I won't get into at this time. Don't worry, I'll get back to my God of War. Don't worry, I'll tell you about that. Anyway, the reference is when because they have to take back the whales to the present time Star Trek universe, because there's this monolith that requires whale song. Okay, so they go back in time with this Klingon battlecruiser, and they got to retrofit the hull to hold water. And so there's this whole Scotty playing with a mouse and computer, and he's all computer. And that'll be Jeeps, Captain! That wasn't a good one. That's like a 2. That one's a 2, guys. That got no height whatsoever. I'm sorry. But so, Scotty, he's retrofitting the Klingon battlecruiser. And like I said, there's a nice little scene in there where he's trying to talk to a computer. And it's, of course, this movie was made in the early, I want to say it was made in the late 80s, early 90s maybe. And so they had the CRT monitors that are like really tiny with the ancient mouse and the keyboard, and he's trying to talk to the computer, and she said, computer, and the computer's not talking to him because, of course, our computers can't talk to him. And so then the guy says, why don't you try the mouse? And so Scotty picks up the mouse and attempts to use that as a microphone, and he says, computer. And then the guy says, oh, just use the keyboard. And so that keyboard says, oh, how quaint. So he gets the keyboard and he's tapping away the computer, and he basically, to cut the story short, not that it was really short at all, but to cut the story short, Scotty basically invents something for 1984 Los Angeles, a new kind of alloy or metal or whatever, so that they can retrofit the Klingon battlecruiser hull to hold whales and water. So anyway, they get the whales and the water from the ocean, and they got to beam everything up, right? And so they got to beam water and whale all at the same time. And here comes a little fail, guys. I'm sorry. If you're gonna back up, at least watch where you're going. Kawil, go home. You're drunk. And so anyway, when they beam up the water and the whales, and Scotty's sitting in engineering, and he looks over and he sees the whales and the water inside the hull, he says to the captain over the speaker, Captain, there be whales here. Anyway, that's where the reference to this comes, because I had Jeeps flying at me all over the place. And you saw the first one where I gave it a 7, what I got with a recoilless rocket. And then I got another one just a while ago that we gave like a 2 or 3. There is, I think, one more Jeep. I could be mistaken. I know for sure there's one more. Anyway, when I saw that, I just couldn't help. And we're going a little GTA 1943 style here. You remember playing GTA Vice City or GTA San Andreas and just rolling just rolling on the sidewalk, running over people, and then you get like a nice long line of dead people, and then you hop out and run along the sidewalk and pick up all the cash and weapons. God, that was a violent game. I absolutely love it. Anyway, and I was also known for taking the less beaten path, like, you know, because that's what GTA is all about, is going places you're not supposed to go. Anyway, so you got the reference. Captain, there be jeeps here. That's the reference. We got Dojo Mojo over here. I don't know what he's doing in the bush. But back to my God of War Ascension mini review. Back to it. I'm gonna say that again. I have not died from the actual battles themselves, and there are some pretty good battles. You get the 4 elemental special powers that you can upgrade. You know, you can access those with the D-pad. You got fire, ice, something else, and the last one, which is my favorite, of course, is the demonic one. And what happens is when you use a square triangle, and you smash down on the ground with your blades, hands come up from the ground and smash the guys, because it's like the souls. You're calling up the souls. Anyway, I am a necromancer by trade in MMOs, Guild Wars 2. Kawil is a death god. I think I've explained that to you guys before. So I'm kind of, I kind of have a fascination with death. Not in the way that I want to die, or that I like to kill things or strangle puppies or anything. I just have a fascination with humans and death and the way we deal with it. And look at that! Oh, look at that! Did you see that? Oh, that was a good fail, I swear to God. I think that one was probably like a 7 or 8. That play coming in, and he bounced, and it was like a 6, 7. Come on, you know. So anyway, back to God of War Ascension. The gameplay is good. It's fun. It's a bit generic because we've been there, done that. The 4 specialty weapons that you can use, the environmental weapons, I guess you could call them, or whatever. They add a little bit of, you know, oh, what's the word I want to use? Variety. They add a little bit of variety to your attacks. But other than that, basically what you do is you keep upgrading your blades, because that's what everybody upgrades, is the blades. Because that's the main power dealer. And of course you collect in the red orbs, you collect in the green orbs, the blue orbs, and the gold orbs, and you kill certain things a certain way and you get certain orbs. I thought the environmental stuff was pretty generic, stale God of War stuff. I think that they just kept it the same and added new stuff. Didn't really, you know. Come on! Ow! Have no fear, folks. Have no fear. I trust in my ability as a backwards turtle bomber. Here we go. Line it up. Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I needed to. Anyway, back to God of War. I got about a minute and a half left, guys, so I'm just gonna wrap it up. Sorry again for the coughing. I'm trying to cut out most of the coughing, but sometimes it sneaks in, so I apologize. So we went over the 4 elemental skills. They're okay. I like the one with the souls, the hands that come up out of the ground, simply because that's what I like. There's not anyone that's any better. When you're introduced to them, there's a certain part right as you're introduced to them. Right after that, you have to use them, you know, to progress further on or to kill a baddie or whatever. They're not used in any other way further in the game, as far as I could tell. They're just used for variety, which of course is great. Again, I thought, it really wasn't needed. or at least it could have been done a little better. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a game designer. I'm not some kind of, savant when it comes to making games or designing or whatever. But, with God of War, it's pretty much been there, done that. As you upgrade your blades, you get more attack combos that you can use. Again, feel free to use them. You can use the techniques. Long range. No, you didn't. Again, he lined it up, and again he got it. Jeez. Come on. Hit me. Oh, no, I missed it. God, that would have been gorgeous. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the match. I'm going to let you go anyway. God of War Ascension, pick it up. I haven't played the multiplayer, but if you try it, let me know. I'm going to try to get you another video next week, hopefully a montage. And guys, I got a nice little bonus since I was in the tank all this time. Here's your bonus track.